Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Bachelor in Paradise viewers raged over Brian Otts during the second episode of the season. The latest season of the beloved dating show has had fans in a frenzy, with shocking behind-the-scenes secrets being revealed and Juliana Pascarosa rumored to be making a Bachelor return. They were left on the edge of your seat after a brutal dumping at the end of the premiere episode and have returned to see what awaits the rest of the lasting familiar faces. During the Monday, July 14 episode, viewers' eyes were once again glued to their screens once Brian joined his other male cast members for a chat, specifically to talk about his connection with Zoe McGrady. During the conversation, he had said some comments that didn't quite sit well with viewers, like, "I am totally open to exploring other connections." During a confessional, he added, "Zoe and I have had a good connection this far. I don't want to call it clingy, but so far, lack of a better word. It's early. Let's keep our options open, and I hope she can do that." Viewers weighed in on the situation on X, with one saying, "Brian is actually pissing me off. I wasn't completely on him night one, but he was interested in her." Another added, "Hey Brian, so you're a total tool." "Brian is a player. Zoe truly deserves a real man, not a boy," a third chimed in. Season 10 sees familiar faces across the Bachelor franchise, including a few from the newest shows The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette, like April Kirkwood, Kathy Swartz, Keith Gordon, and Gary Levingston. The newest members of the franchise, Alexei Godin, Bailey Brown, and Zoe McGrady, hail from Grant Ellis's recent season of The Bachelor. Fans declare Brian the tool. Is he the villain of the season? Paradise interrupted. Bachelor in Paradise had barely begun when the waves crashing on the shores of Sayulita seemed to carry something new, not just the sea breeze or the scent of tequila, but controversy. His name? Brian Callahan. Tall, tan, and exuding an almost cartoonish level of confidence, Brian descended the famous steps of Paradise in slow motion, like he had practiced it in front of a mirror for months. His shirt was unbuttoned halfway down, sunglasses glued to his face, and his smirk? Oh, that smirk made half the women roll their eyes while the other half readjusted their bikini tops. "Here comes trouble," muttered Cat R, nursing a mimosa. And oh, was she right. The self-proclaimed alpha. Brian wasn't shy about who he was, or who he thought he was. Day one, he pulled aside 3 women within the first 30 minutes. He dropped lines like, "You'll want to keep me around. I'm not here for drama. I am the drama." This beach needed a real man. Every confession booth clip of Brian made fans collectively cringe back home. Social media was already lighting up. Hashtag reality tea queen. Why is Brian calling himself Alpha B? I physically can't. Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. Hashtag Bachelor Obsessed 101. He brought a protein shaker to the beach. A tool. Hashtag tool time. Hashtag BIP. Producers had struck gold, or rather, a gold-plated nuisance. A rose for chaos. At the first rose ceremony, Brian was given a rose by Jenica, the sweet schoolteacher from Arizona. Viewers had high hopes for her, but that hope died a slow death when she picked him, mostly because he convinced her he was misunderstood. "People confuse confidence with cockiness," he whispered into her ear like he was reading a fortune cookie. "But I see through you. You're not like the others." Jenica fell for it. By week 2, though, she would regret it. Gaslight, gatekeep, Brian. It didn't take long before Brian's true nature cracked through his perfectly tanned facade. He was charming when it suited him, and dismissive always. When Jenica asked him about his growing closeness with Tasha, he simply shrugged. "We're in paradise, not a monastery." "But you said you were all in with me." "Babe, you must have misunderstood. I said I was interested. Don't twist my words." He wasn't just gaslighting, he was handing out lighters and blaming the women for the flames. Fans at home saw right through it. Hashtag Paradise Recapper. Brian is the human embodiment of a lead flag wrapped in protein powder and cheap cologne. Hashtag Send him home. Tasha and the TikTok tea. Tasha wasn't immune to Brian's antics either. By week 3, she was swept into his arms, both figuratively and literally, as he attempted to lift her during a beach volleyball game and dropped her flat on the sand. The fall wasn't just physical, it was emotional. The next day, a TikTok exploded online. A woman from back home, Rachel M., posted a storytime video. "You guys, Brian from Bachelor in Paradise ghosted me 3 times, then sent me a mass text inviting me to his Alpha Energy seminar. I thought it was a date. He tried to get me to buy his ebook." The video hit 2 million views overnight. Fans were done. Trouble in the Palapa. Word of the TikTok made its way to Paradise, as things always do. Someone had Wi-Fi, likely a sneaky producer, and the whispers began to swirl around the beach. "What kind of guy runs a fake seminar called Alpha Energy?" muttered John H., a fan-favorite contestant from Charity Lawson's season. Brian, of course, doubled down. "She's just bitter because I didn't wife her up." The phrase "wife her up" alone ignited fury on social media. Hashtag Bachelor Fangirls. Every time Brian speaks, an angel loses its wings. Hashtag All Cringe King. Hashtag Pop Culture Pilot. Can we collectively vote Brian off the island? I'll start a petition. Hashtag Brian the Tool. Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. The intervention. By the halfway point of the season, the other contestants had enough. An informal intervention was called, not by producers, but by the women. Eliza, Jenica, and Tasha sat Brian down. "We just want you to be honest," said Eliza gently. "You're playing everyone. It's not cool." Brian's response? "I didn't come here to be scolded by a group of emotionally unstable women. I came here for a wife." Cue the collective gasp. Jenica stood up. "Well, you came to the wrong show. We're not here to validate your ego." That moment aired in its entirety, unedited. The beach clapped, America clapped. Twitter versus Brian. That night, Brian trended nationally. Not for the right reasons. @BatchFanLegal. Can we get a restraining order against Brian for that emotionally unstable line? Asking for all of us. @RosetteRage. He's not the villain we love to hate. He's the villain we hate to hate. Hashtag Tool Brian. Memes flooded the internet. Brian as Gaston. Brian as a gaslighter in a Home Depot ad. Brian photoshopped with a giant tool stamped on his forehead. Bachelor Nation had spoken. Paradise lost. Despite all the drama, Brian somehow made it to the penultimate week. By then, only 2 women still tolerated him. Newcomer Cassie, who hadn't seen his worst yet, and another contestant named Darla, who was convinced she could fix him. Spoiler, she couldn't. On the beach proposal day, Brian prepared for what he called his power move. Rumors swirled that he might propose, not out of love, but because he thought it would get him on Dancing with the Stars. But Cassie had been watching the episodes as they aired, and she wasn't having it. The Great Shutdown. When Brian dropped to one knee and began his overly rehearsed speech, "I came here a lone wolf, misunderstood, misquoted, misjudged, but you saw my strength." Cassie interrupted him. "I didn't see strength, Brian. I saw someone desperately performing for validation." Then she walked off. Brian stood alone, ring box in hand, jaw slack. Producers tried to spin it, but there was no saving the narrative. Brian wasn't the misunderstood heartthrob. He was the tool. And everyone, including Bachelor Nation, knew it. The tell-all bloodbath. At the reunion, Brian entered to booze. Actual on-camera booze. Host Jesse Palmer tried to calm the audience, but the damage was done. Jenica went first. "You humiliated me on national television and then called me emotionally unstable because I had feelings." Tasha followed. "You lied to everyone here. You manipulated us, then laughed about it in the confessionals. What part of that do you think is attractive?" Brian deflected, blamed editing, blamed cancel culture. But the kicker? Rachel M., TikTok girl, appeared via video and read his ebook aloud. Chapter 1. Be the prize. A woman should earn your time. You are the alpha. Never forget. Mic drop. Redemption denied. Usually, even the villains of Paradise get redemption arcs, a tearful apology, a sudden realization, a heartfelt hug. Not Brian. He doubled down on every single statement. "I stand by my truth," he said. "I know who I am." America knew too. Hashtag Reality Rehab Podcast. Brian tried to get his own podcast. It got removed after 3 episodes. People can only listen to alpha talk for so long. Hashtag good riddance. Hashtag Bachelor Nation Boss. The only tool we need in paradise is a shovel to bury Brian's screen time. Hashtag Brian blocked. The fan verdict. The finale of Bachelor in Paradise ended with couples kissing under fireworks, but not Brian. His last scene? Alone, sitting in the sand, shirtless, still wearing sunglasses at night, still talking to himself. The camera panned away as he muttered, "They'll see. One day, they'll see." He would later try to launch a wellness brand called Tooled with the tagline, "Sharpen your inner alpha." It flopped. The legacy of the tool. Brian became a legend, not for love, but for all the wrong reasons, and fans will never forget. Hashtag BIP memes forever. Brian Callahan is a reminder. If it walks like a tool, talks like a tool, it's probably just a tool. Bachelor in Paradise has seen heartbreak, betrayal, and redemption, but it had never seen a Brian. Let's just hope it never does again.